You got my heart in a chokehold lately. Got me checking on my vitals daily. Blood pressure 220/80, and it's rising now. Your touch is intoxicating. Tattoo me with your lipstick, baby. I'm gone, I don't need no saving. Leave me in the clouds. You're a midnight sky, little bit of devil in your eyes. Baby, I can read between the lines. Promise you don't gotta say it twice. You don't gotta try. Wrapped around your finger like a vine. You're my midnight sky. I'm never gonna break this habit. Just one kiss turned me into an addict. Second nature, don't need no practice when the sun goes down. You're a midnight sky, little bit of devil in your eyes. Baby, I can read between the lines. Promise you don't gotta say it twice. You don't gotta try. Wrapped around your finger like a vine. You're my midnight sky. Baby, I can read between the lines. Promise you don't gotta say it twice. You don't gotta try. Wrapped around your finger like a vine. You're my midnight sky.
Hey, we're Nova Twins.
You're listening to our new single NOVA on Spotify now.
Turn it up.
When we say jump, they follow suit. One by one, we're in pursuit. All the way to Timbuktu. Afro hair, black kinky roof.
There's blood in the water, I'm diving in. So close I can taste it. Desire's a sin and I'm craving it. Your touch on my skin is electric. I can't help overthinking every word I'm saying. One day you wake up and finally see I'm holding you back, you're too good for me. I'm over my head and out of my mind. I've been struck by your lightning. You're 3 steps ahead, I'm too far behind. You're the one that defines me. So terrified of the day that you'll notice I'm over my head, just wondering why someone like you could love me. I get lost in the curves of your silhouette. I could search for a lifetime. Your body is music, I'm listening. But one day you wake up and finally see you don't need saving, you're just saving me. I'm over my head and out of my mind. I've been struck by your lightning. You're 3 steps ahead, I'm too far behind. You're the one that defines me. So terrified of the day that you'll know been struck by your lightning. You're 3 steps ahead, I'm too far behind. You're the one that defines me. So terrified of the day that you notice I'm over my head, just wondering why someone like you could love me. Still up at dawn, watch the sunset and rise again. Somehow I'm always wrong. Somehow I'm always letting down my friends. Oh, I should call my mom, smile wide and say I'm fine again. But I won't tell her where I've gone, 'cause in her eyes I'm still innocent. If my whole world's on fire, then I'm holding the lighter with all of the lessons I've learned. Watch those flames go higher as the light grows brighter. The sky's filled with ashes I've earned. Let it burn. In each city that I pass, there's a different me that'll never last. And each time I think I'm doing right, I hurt the ones I hold too tight, till the bridges start to burn. If my whole world's on fire, then I'm holding the lighter with all of the lessons I've learned. Watch those flames go higher as the light grows brighter. The sky's filled with ashes I've earned. Let it burn, just trying to survive. Am I living just to die? I can barely see the light. Nothing left to break. Maybe I should try to pray, but there's some things I can't say. If my whole world's on fire, then I'm holding the light with all of the lessons I've learned. Watch those flames go higher as the light grows brighter. The sky's filled with ashes I've earned. Let it burn. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yes is a maybe, and maybe is a no out in LA. I'm taking my time on the East Coast, when no is a no. And if you fake, it'll show. Calling out Mayday, shit didn't happen in my heyday. Sipping top shelf, but I'm still broke. And mama said no, save a little money, let it grow. I keep coming down, 'cause everyone says that they're okay. Fake smiles can't make it past Tuesday. Fighting my personal crusade, overwhelmed over due dates. Can't wait for my doomsday, saying I'm okay. If I make it, will it make me hate it? Wish I could go back to the basics, overwhelmed over due dates. Can't wait for my doomsday, doomsday. Have not slept in a week now. I haven't breathed in a month, and it's taking every fiber of my being just to not give up. Laugh it off, coffee cup, not enough chosen drug. Call the cops, need to stop, 'cause I keep coming down. Everyone says that they're okay. Fake smiles can't make it past Tuesday. Fighting my personal crusade, overwhelmed over due dates. Can't wait for my doomsday, saying I'm okay. If I make it, will it make me hate it? Wish I could go back to the basics, overwhelmed over due dates. Can't wait for my doomsday, doomsday. Hope one day I'll find a way to put my feet up and know I could be enough. Hope one day everyone says that they're okay. Fake smiles can't make it past Tuesday. Fighting my personal crusade. Overwhelmed over due dates. Can't wait for my doomsday. Saying I'm okay. If I make it, will it make me hate it? Wish I could go back to the basics. Overwhelmed over due dates. Can't wait for my doomsday, doomsday. I'm looking for something tonight to make it worth it. Every day I'm questioning life, do I deserve it? Take back what is yours and mine. Nothing ever seems to be right, I do the wrong thing. Even when I step in the light, I feel the darkness. Take back what is yours and mine. Give me life, give me love, give me something from above. Show the world you and I as we reach into the sky. Let's sing it. You give me the life I'm living. I'm taking the chance I'm giving. Even when the darkness sets in, we reach for the light. Looking for something in life to give me purpose. Find a direction, my life is like a circus. Wearing my pain on my sleeve these days. Not ashamed of my past, I've changed my ways. Keeping my pride, let go of my ego. Living with the pain, but learning how to let go. I mean it, big ballin'. You hurt me, stop calling. Give me life, give me love, give me something from above. Show the world you and I as we reach into the sky. Let's sing it. You give me the life I'm living. I'm taking the chance I'm giving. Even when the darkness sets in, we reach for the light. Give me life, give me love, give me something from above. Show the world you and I as we reach into the sky. Let's sing it. You give me the life I'm living. I'm taking the chance I'm giving. Even when the darkness sets in, we reach for the light. Give me life, give me love, give me something from above. Show the world you and I as we reach into the sky. Let's sing it.
I feel some type of way when everybody gotta lie to me. I only keep it real, so why the fuck have you been trying me? It feels like I'm too real to be living in this society. It feels like I can't stop from overthinking, that's anxiety. I'm just trying to breathe, that's anxiety. I'm just trying to be free, that's anxiety. That's anxiety. Looking 3D, that's anxiety. All I'm feeling deep, that's anxiety. I used to feel so normal, it all happened in a minute. Like how'd I go from formal to feeling carcinogenic? Like everything is racing, I'm praying that it'll finish. Like God, please don't forget me. Like tell me what you want from a brother, what I want from a brother. I don't ever wanna see you up from the gutter. I don't ever wanna see you standing. I just wanna see you sitting, nothing but a panic. I just wanna see you take everything for granted. giving up on your dreams. I just wanna see you giving up on your team and giving the darkness and follow your genes. Like, I just wanna live my life without you. Everywhere I try to go, I know you come too. Like, I just wanna live my life just stress free, but every time I try to think, I think you test me.
It's funny cause you think I have control. It's funny cause you think I have to go. I'm all in your head, you're thinking you're dead. Derealization to average Joe. Your imagination is actually stronger than really like half would know. You gotta move with and not at the flow. No, what ifs are really not factual.
I feel some type of way when everybody gotta lie to me. I only keep it real, so why the fuck have you been trying me? It feels like I'm too real to be living in this society. It feels like I can't stop from overthinking, that's anxiety. I'm just trying to breathe, that's anxiety. That's anxiety. I'm just trying to be free, that's anxiety. That's anxiety. Looking 3D, that's anxiety. That's anxiety. Really be, that's anxiety. There's nothing wrong with you if there isn't, there's medication. I'd rather live my life with a prayer and some meditation. You just keep on working, there ain't no time for vacation. I know I gotta break through. I gotta break you, so I've been moving on to phase 2. Like, you ain't even gotta love your life, you just gotta let me make a fake you. You don't let me in, so I invade through. Yo, I guess it's time for you to pay dues while you write and read another page too. There's nothing that could ever save you. Accept yourself. You wanna win, you must accept yourself. When it is time, you gotta take some help. You gotta wanna win to change your health, health, health.
No. Stop all of that. You hear what they're saying right now? They're trying to get you to cut me off. I've been here since the beginning. It's been me and you since the beginning. I've always been here. Don't cut me off, man. I love you.
I feel some type of way when everybody gotta lie to me. I only keep it real, so why the fuck have you been trying me? It feels like I'm too real to be living in this society. It feels like I can't stop from overthinking, that's anxiety. I'm just trying to breathe, that's anxiety. That's anxiety. I'm just trying to be free, that's anxiety. That's anxiety. Looking 3D, that's anxiety. That's anxiety. Wanna really be, that's anxiety. That's anxiety.
So welcome to stream, everybody. Yes, we will be updating the Panda bot. Yes, it is in testing for the Panda esports server. And we're gonna make a new bot on stream too. But of course we got some reactions to get done. Such as updates to the online Safety Act.
Trump, and I've got some thoughts. So let me just play you a section of the clip and then we'll talk about it.
We've got some measures which are there to protect children, in particular from cyber.
Yes, I hear some BS.
It's like sites. We've had too many cases in the United Kingdom of young children taking their own lives, and when you look through their social media, they've been accessing sites which talk about suicide and encouraging, if you like, children down that road, and that is what we want to stop. Nothing about censoring free speech. But this country is a proud free speech in this country has been for a very long time. We're very, very proud of it.
Right, now, there's two parts of the internet. You've got there's actually more than that, but simplification is that there's two parts of the internet. You've got the surface web, and then you've got the deep web or dark web, and they're technically two different things. But you've got your Googles and all of that, and then you've got everything that appears on the Tor browsers. And to get around all this stuff, you're going to see younger people, and I already know this, by the way, as a gaming channel with a young audience, the amount of comments I've had from that young audience telling me that they've immediately gone to a VPN to get around this. Some of these people are as young as 14, 15, 16 years old. They're using VPNs to get around all this regulation. They're now using Tor browsers, dark web browsers, to be able to use the internet as they would normally intend. Now, these people don't have nefarious activities that they want to do. They just don't want to give the government access to all of their identification information and all of that access to private companies. So what they're doing is just gravitating towards the platform that doesn't have these restrictions. Now, if you're watching this and you've ever used the dark web or deep web, whatever you want to call it, if you've ever used any of those services, it's very easy to find stuff stuff that you don't want to see. It's very easy to find unsavory things. So what the government have now done is scared every child, every teen, every adult away from the surface internet, which, let's be honest, is all sunshine and roses compared to the dark web. And they're pushing everyone over to the dark web whilst parading around saying the children are better off. In what world? On what planet are children better off for the Online Safety Act? So Mein Führer Starmer was asked some questions.
Yeah, in what world? Let's watch the full video, shall we? I want to see the BS that Keir Starmer.
My work is
going
easy
to
because
say. I want to hear that sweet bullshit.
So Mein Führer Starmer was asked some questions about the new Online Safety Act. And
My Führer Starmer. I love how he makes that German reference to World War II right there. Oh my. Are you serious? Bro.
at the same time, he was sat down with President Trump, and I've got some thoughts. So let me just play you a section of the clip, and then we'll talk.
Sites like Kingdom.
You already watched this?
And to be honest, every single platform on the surface web is so heavily regulated that these platforms and Surface appears on the Tor browsers. Now, at the moment, the majority of people are using Surface Web. They're using things like Google, YouTube, and they're navigating these platforms. And to be honest, every single platform on the Surface Web is so heavily regulated that to find content like Starmer suggested is actually very, very, very difficult. You can find it. It does exist on the surface web, but it's very difficult. Now, the new Online Safety Act that they've introduced obviously means that using the internet above anything else is just more difficult now. You need ID with you. You need to do all of this stuff to navigate the web that you wouldn't normally need to have. Now, to get around this, people are using VPNs. Yes, you can get yours down below. 4 months free, 86% off, and it supports the channel. What a time to be alive. But you can use a VPN. You can use a Tor browser. And to get around all this stuff, you're going to see younger people. I already know this, by the way, as a gaming channel with a young audience, the amount of comments I've had from that young audience telling me that they've immediately gone to a VPN to get around this. Some of these people are as young as 14, 15, 16 years old. They're using VPNs to get around all this regulation. They're now using Tor browsers, dark web browsers, to be able to use the internet as they would normally intend. Now, these people don't have nefarious activities that they want to do. They just don't want to give the government access to all of their identification information and all of that access to private companies. So what they're doing is just gravitating towards the platform that doesn't have these restrictions. Now, if you're watching this and you've ever used the dark web or deep web, whatever you want to call it, if you've ever used any of those services, it's very easy to find stuff that you don't want to see. It's very easy to find unsavory things. So what the government have now done is scared every child, every teen, every adult away from the surface internet, which, let's be honest, is all sunshine and roses compared to the dark web. And they're pushing everyone over to the dark web whilst parading around saying the children are better off.
In what world?
What world?
In what world are the children, quote unquote, better off, Mr. Prime Minister of the UK Starmer? In what world? Can someone tell me? In what world? Please. Please, someone. Someone tell me. What world? Because this is all insane. This is insane what the UK is trying to do. In case you haven't been paying attention the entire stream, let me sum up that 2 minutes and 50 seconds that he just said. The UK is pushing teens, kids, etc. out of the surface web into the dark web, saying that they're quote-unquote better off because they're so focused on kids' safety when it's really not even about kids' safety. It's about surveillance in the first place, first off. And then they want you to give over ID so you can search stuff on the web or even access anything. And then now we're just at the question, in what world? What world do we live in? Someone, please tell me in chat. Or Facebook, whatever. Someone, please tell me. I would love to know. In what world does the UK think this is going to work whatsoever? In what world? I mean, adults are finding a way around it, even though it's not even supposed to, quote-unquote, impact them in the first place. Kids are finding a way around it. Teens are finding a way around it. I mean, this is insane.
On what planet are children better off for the Online Safety Act?
planet?
All they've done is push people away from the safe internet into the dangerous internet. But even then, with the dark web, it's fair to say you only find what you search for. And although it's possible to stumble across stuff that you don't want to see, it's almost impossible to do that on Google. Now, here's the problem with talking about stuff like this on YouTube. I've had to avoid saying the word, and the word that Starmer used, I've had to like chop it up and cut it out. But children finding that sort of content is horrific. No one wants that. I don't want that. You don't want that. No one in their right mind wants that. And if you do want that, honestly, go fuck yourself. But like I've said in many previous videos, there's many ways to keep children safe online. Set up parental blockers on your home hub. Go on your child's phone and actually change what they can access in their settings. All of this stuff has existed and it's simple. I wouldn't even be that offended if they brought in some sort of law where ISPs have to naturally supply internet routers with child locks on, and you as an adult have to turn that off. I wouldn't be against any of that stuff, really. What I'm against is mass censorship. And obviously he tries to downplay the word censorship, and clearly someone's told Keir Starmer that the word censorship can't be used, but it is censorship. It is.
It's censorship in many different ways. It is. This is censorship. And as I and the VNO and Panda Esports have already pledged, we've pledged to fight against this censorship. Fight for our UK members, fight for our Canadian members, Australian members, if we have any, that is. If it comes to the United States, we're gonna fight it. We'll take the government to court if need be. But until then, we're gonna fight it however way we can. Bringing it to y'all's awareness. Bringing it to the viewers' awareness. Bringing it to the world's awareness. Everything. This censorship in the UK shouldn't even be happening in the first place. And this is the Labour Party we're talking about, not the Reform Party that the UK has.
Can't access some content that isn't like corn, isn't any stuff like that. There's some content that's to do with modern news, stuff that's happening in the media, things that are happening in our country that you can't access unless you're 18. Yet you can vote at 16. You can make decisions about what's happening in our country, but the government don't deem you old enough to be able to actually see what's happening in this country. I just think that it's absolutely, I know we say the word dystopian and I know it gets thrown around, but it is dystopian. You wouldn't believe this. You wouldn't believe this if anyone told you about this on the street. If someone's walking past you and said, by the way, you've got to now use your passport to listen to Spotify, no one would believe you. No one would believe you. Now, something else, and this is a slightly different topic, but I recently did a video on Yoti. Now, Yoti are one of the companies that have been entrusted by the British government to handle some of the data processing for face scans, biometric data, passports, all of this stuff. They're basically one of the companies that if you are a website host, say if you're selling, I don't know, vapes or something online and it's an adult only website and you need someone to handle the data processing because you don't want to handle passports yourself, people are going to Yoti to use them as their provider to do these safety checks. Now, in a previous video, I went through Yoti's privacy policy and it was... You need to watch that video, it's so bad. But I actually didn't realize something. I gave them the benefit of the doubt, and boy, why did I do that? Why did I do that? What an idiot. What a dumb. So I said in that video that if you don't want any of your data shared with Yoti's third parties or the people that they send off your data to verify it, you can opt out. Yeah, you can opt out. after you've given them some ID. I shit you not, to have your data wiped from Yoti servers, you have to give them ID, which, by the way, if we've learned anything from, example, the T hack, which I will be doing a separate video on, but the T app, they said that they only keep passport data for around 24 hours, and they've changed it repeatedly. It's been 24 hours, 7 days, 14 days, and 30 days. Well, it's actually been found that they've been holding on to people's private information for almost as long as the websites existed. How do we know that Yoti isn't doing the same thing? Yes, they say that they don't do it, but we've seen many cases of companies lying. Yes, believe it or not, companies do lie. Now, circling back to Starmer and his recent, date with Donald Trump, is that what we call it? I am beyond words. There's two schools of thought here. There's two schools of thought. It's either our government's being controlled by a load of people that just don't understand the internet, which could also be very equally true, or there is a conspiracy within inside the government to do something nefarious, which could also be true. Different video. But the way that they're talking about things not being censorship whilst implementing a policy which is preventing data from accessing people, it's so bizarre. Circumventing their new Online Safety Act is considered illegal, but using a VPN isn't illegal. In fact, using a VPN to get around the Online Safety Act technically isn't illegal, but getting around the Online Safety Act is illegal, which is it's like it's probably a bad example, but it's like saying drink driving's illegal unless you're in a car. It's the exact same thing. Drink driving is illegal unless you're in a car. If you're in a car, it's not illegal because it's not drink driving, even though to be driving, you have to be in a car. I'm going crazy. I'm absolutely going crazy. But this is the thing, is they've implemented some regulation without understanding any of the laws, any of the context, any of the industry around it. And at the same time of them having conversations, they're going from, we want to make VPNs illegal, to the next day issuing a statement that they'll never make VPNs illegal. But then they add some caveat to that just 6 hours later, saying that using a VPN to circumvent that. Oh my God, it's beyond words. I'm beyond words.
It's insane. It's insanity. And even I have no words to describe what the fuck the UK is even doing in the first place. I have no words, honestly. I have zilch, none, zero, no words. Whatsoever.
Two links down below. One, obviously, private internet access helps the channel. The second link is for the petition. The petition still keeps getting signatures. Obviously, the government did respond, and you can watch that video about the government responding. I'm mirrored. I'm flipped backwards on my screen. Up there. Look at that. Look at that. I'm holding it. You can watch that video up there. Give me your thoughts down below, boys and girls. Give me your thoughts. Thanks for watching. I shall see you all in the next one.
This is bad.
It takes perfectly ordinary, non-contentious accounts of real historical events are going to be censored, both because of the Online Safety Act, but also because the government, if it adopts a definition that includes that particular claim, is going to say, well, actually, that's Islamophobic. It's Islamophobic to say that the Crusades were in response to a set of things that Muslim conquerors had done, for example. Well, it isn't. Those are facts of history as well. And so I think what we're seeing more generally than that is something of a perfect storm for freedom of speech in Britain.
Do you want to read about the history of the Crusades and the feats of Richard the Lionheart? Or perhaps are you interested in a little Roman history? Well, I'm afraid the computer says no. Literally, because the Online Safety Act just came into effect, and despite repeated reassurances that it wouldn't pose a threat to free speech, it's had, shall we say, an interesting first week. I'm Emma Trimble, and this is GB News Originals. And of course, before we get stuck in, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can stay up to date with all of our content. Now, here to discuss this with me is Dr. Ben Jones from the Free Speech Union, who has been keeping track of some of the wildest examples of censored content this past week. Some crazy, some sinister. Ben, thank you so much for joining us. So, let's start off by you just explaining for our audience a little bit more about what this legislation is exactly.
The Online Safety Act is something that was devised under the Conservative government, and it's been something that has been under development for quite a long period of time. We've been concerned at the Free Speech Union about it for the best part of the last 5 years because we anticipated, as did many other free speech campaigners, that it was going to be a minefield for freedom of speech, that it was going to create incentives on tech companies to set the threshold for censorship very low because it makes the assumption that internet users should be treated as children. It sets out to make the internet safe for children, which clearly is something that most people would accept and support. But the way in which it does that is to inflict very severe fines on tech companies, £18 million or 10% of global turnover, whichever is greater, if they don't take down certain types of content. Now, if you're running a global tech giant, all of the incentives under this legislation are for you to take your thresholds and make them as low as you possibly can to avoid these fines. And so, what we have seen since this act came into effect, the enforcement of this act came into effect, that the censorship of all sorts of posts on completely non-controversial topics has been rife, and it has been much worse, I think, than we thought it was going to be.
So originally, one of the early drafts of this legislation used the phrase legal but harmful. And it was going to also, aside from the stuff that I think most people would agree on, protecting children from violence, pornography, that kind of thing, it was intended to protect adults from psychological harm on the internet. And so that wording was then removed in the final legislation. But are you saying that actually the reality of this legislation in practice is that it really is actually limiting what adults can see on the internet if they refuse, for example, to verify their age?
That's exactly right. If your age isn't verified online, let's talk about X, formerly Twitter. If you are a normal user, you probably will not have verified your age on X if you're not paying for a subscription, if you've not been on the site for more than 18 years. And so X particularly has a process which seems quite opaque at the moment for how you can go about verifying without upgrading your account type. And so the assumption that platforms are going to make is that unless you prove otherwise, you will be treated as a child. And of course, this means that for ordinary users of X, millions of people now in Britain within scope of the Online Safety Act, they will not be able to see incidents from the news. So the first thing I seen, the first example of my list of posts that had been censored was of an arrest up in northern England, in Leeds, on Friday, the first day in which the enforcement of the Act began. And this was being censored. And we now have this warning that I think most of your viewers will have seen, that due to local laws, this post isn't available. And I began to see this, as I'm sure many of your users will have done, absolutely everywhere. And I've deliberately not upgraded my own X account or used a VPN or changed my location or done any of these things so that I can see the internet and I can see X as a normal user in Britain will see it.
Well, so one of the tweets that actually was censored by this was one of your own tweets about the Online Safety Act. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. So I started this thread on X collating examples that people were sending me of stuff that was being censored. And we'll talk about some of the examples in a minute. But because I think what had happened, because I had quote tweeted or taken a screenshot of this post that had been censored showing the arrest, my thread about censorship was itself censored. And so I have this thread, and the first one of the posts, at least, is not available unless you have verified your age. And just to be absolutely clear, this is not a scene of appalling violence. It's what looks like a light tussle between a police officer and somebody on the ground. It's actually quite unclear what's happening in the frame.
So we'll get stuck into a mix of some of these examples because some of them, I mean, they're all sinister. Some of them are lighter than others. Um, But just on this point about the protest tweet being censored, because of course we've also just seen news that the government is effectively spying on citizens who are critical of migrant hotels, who might be annoyed about two-tier policing, and talking about that online. And there's evidence now that has come out that they've been contacting these tech companies like TikTok and so on. So would you say that this poses a risk really to liberal democracy, because this is limiting what people can see? You know, whether if the police are being particularly rough with protesters, or if there is a particular protest taking place in a certain area, that this legislation can now be leveraged by a government that seems to be quite willing, actually, to try and get tech companies to remove things that maybe are not necessarily in their political interests.
Well, I think the Online Safety Act is quite literally treating voters like children. At the same time, the government is trying to make children voters. And with this story, particularly about the former Counter Disinformation Unit, this was something that was monitoring critics of lockdown during the pandemic. I did see in this story that it's now been renamed to be the National Security and Online Information Team. So they've dropped the pretense that it's just about disinformation. It is, in fact, just about information. And some of the, as you will have seen, some of the posts that they were writing to tech companies about were completely anodyne. They were factual statements, for example, of asylum seekers, small people who crossed in small boats, as being undocumented fighting age males, which of course is a simple statement of fact. And there were other posts that had been identified because they were about two-tier policing, or because they had concerning narratives about the police. And this is the second story in a week which has been about the government setting up some new unit to spy on what people are saying online. And the other was this supposedly elite police squad, the National Internet Intelligence Investigations Unit that's been set up. So all of these units are proliferating, monitoring what people are saying. And then they're not tracking people who are engaged in or adjacent to terrorist activity, for example. It's dealing with people and monitoring people who, like the vast majority of the public, are very concerned about and hostile to the small boat crossings that we have seen, particularly ramping up in the last 6 months, of course.
And one of the most absurd examples, you say, it's treating adults like children. One of the unverified users on Twitter is Father Marcus Walker, very well known clergyman based here in London, and he had been trying to look at and read a tweet about a Roman consul, and that had been censored by um, the age verification, because of course he isn't verified, so he hasn't paid and given them his details and so on. um that's not the only example either, is it? There was also a case of a tweet about the Crusades that also was censored. So this is also limiting people's access to information that isn't even tangentially related to any of these issues that should be caught in the net of this legislation.
That's right. It cannot be stated strong enough that we are not talking about extreme violence or pornography when we're talking about threads of things that happened in medieval or in ancient history, 1 or 2 thousand years ago, respectively, with those two examples. The thread about Richard the Lionheart was just extraordinary. I mean, it was the level of gore that you might get in, say, a horrible histories book, the sort of thing that many 8, 9, 10-year-old children are reading every day, and there was nothing about
with the right
This is not going to be a Minecraft video. I only just have Minecraft here. You may have seen this set of news floating around on the internet. So I wanted to enlighten you guys on this because a large majority of my viewer base is in the UK, US, and Australia, like top 3. And this is going to affect all of you. So the gist of it is going to be this. In the next few weeks, you're going to see something happen, and I don't know how it's going to be enforced. I don't know how it's going to roll out, but YouTube is going to roll out machine learning to estimate your age. That's it. So teens will be treated as teens and adults will be treated as adults. What they're going to do is look at signals on your viewing behavior to presume your age regardless of what you've put in your login info. Now, before I explain all of this, I'd like to jump into what we call YouTube Kids. And let me just, I can go back here. This is the homepage. I searched up my own name because I wanted to see exactly what kind of videos YouTube expects people of a certain age range would watch. So over here we have a parental control, and if you click on it, that is how you determine whether people are old enough or not. What is 6 times 9? Otherwise, you can set your own passcode here. So obviously you can abrogate that, but it's kind of funny how this is the initial reaction. If you punch in the wrong number, by the way, if you're like 78, for example, it's just gonna give you another one. It's just answering a simple question. So you can just do 20, and that allows you to change all of this stuff, content settings, search restrictions. So here I've got kids under 4. So if you go back, this is what YouTube Kids shows you if you're under 4. Hamster Cage, Hardcore Civilization is under 4. I don't know, you may have seen a lot of these videos in your recommendations. So this is the signal for kids under 4. We're going to change this to 5 to 8. Not much has changed. The recommendations still look kind of the same, but what I'm going to do now is search up Phoenix SC. My videos will show up. This is going to become relevant later on. My videos do not show up for kids 4 and under. Apparently my videos are too mature. They're not for 4-year-olds. However, we have a whole bunch of channels that have remixed my video and recreated it in a different way, which is pretty cool. 9 to 12, a little bit older. All of my videos are definitely here. So I don't know how YouTube has signaled that these videos are okay. YouTube gets a lot of things wrong. This tech will allow us to infer a user's age and then use that signal, regardless of what you've input into your account, to deliver age-appropriate product experiences and protections. We've used this approach in other markets where it is working well. Now, I'd like to see how the heck you've decided this. Where is it working well? In what parts of the market is this working well? How are you delivering this? There are not many other platforms out there that do this, or at this scale, like YouTube. We're now bringing it to the US, and as we make progress, we'll roll it out in other markets. We'll closely monitor the user experience and partner with creators to ensure that the entire ecosystem benefits from this update. So, this will inevitably harm creators, it will inevitably harm users. It may even hinder the parental experience, especially if they use YouTube in the way that they educate their kids. Especially someone who lives in Australia. This is something that I already knew was going to happen about a year ago. The federal government of Australia amended our legislation to require that social media platforms like YouTube prevent people under 16 from creating accounts. As you can see right here, this is serious. Citing that delaying access to social media, including YouTube, until the age of 16 will protect young Australians at a critical age of their development, giving them 3 more years to build real-world connections and online resilience. Another backbone for this is the UK and the Online Safety Act. The purposes are roughly the same, trying to protect children from online harm on the internet. So this clearly casts a very wide net, and to a point where it can become very restrictive. How is the information being used? Who is using it? What are they looking at? Why is the internet being the parent all of a sudden? There are a lot of concerns for this, and you can read how this works. We'll use AI to interpret a variety of signals, as we already mentioned. I don't know what these signals are, but watching Minecraft on YouTube is something that might be. These include the types of videos you watch, the categories of videos that they've watched, and longevity of the account. So maybe if your account is 18 years old, or is that non-conclusive evidence? I mean, as someone who uses the internet, obviously you know everything you do is being tracked. When the system identifies a teen user, we'll automatically apply our age-appropriate experiences and protections, including no more personalized advertising. We've got digital well-being tools like don't watch for too long, safeguard to recommendations, so not showing things that might be age inappropriate. If the system incorrectly estimates a user to be under 18, they will have the option to verify that they are 18 or over. So can you just tell them that they're wrong, and then all of this will be over. They'll have the option to verify that they're 18 or over. What if you just don't want to? Like, you didn't have to show them a credit card or government ID. This is all of a sudden a requirement online for them to photograph your ID or credit card. Will only allow users who have been verified or inferred as over 18 to view age-restricted content that may be inappropriate for younger users. You must do this. You can't get around this. Our continuing work to support kids, teens, and families. It's alright, fine. This is Google or YouTube's way of trying to abide by the law, so they really tried their hardest to not do this. I'm not aware of the closed-door communications and whether YouTube had any way to back out of this overarching legislation. They are obviously afraid because there are huge fines in the millions, and they have to be the big daddy to tell us what is beneficial and what isn't to a good, healthy teen environment. This approach is not going to work. Despite all of their efforts to restrict our viewing habits online, people will find a way to circumvent them. YouTube Kids, I'm sure, will be used by parents, but then when they get old enough, they will find ways to consume content that the world apparently doesn't want them to watch. I don't think this is a good idea, but I guess over the next several weeks, you're gonna find that for some reason or another, they have to protect our online communities from content that might be harmful. So if they find out you're under 18 and then you're not, good luck forking out your ID to the bouncer that's on the front page. Looks like you don't have a choice. We're gonna see in the next few weeks what happens.
Yeah, looks like you don't got a choice. How wonderful. How absolutely wonderful.
This comes to us from Grums on X, and he says, the law false premised on protecting kids has now locked down Spotify to adults until you prove your ID and or photo. Now, this is on top of, he says, the internet has truly fallen. Xbox, Discord, X, YouTube, and now Spotify. All within a less than 1 week period. This is like a 3 or 4 day period right now. How fast this is all happening, it's a very coordinated effort. And it's very obvious right out in front for everyone to see. And it's almost like the audacity of the UK to push forward with this. And no one is able to fight back. Everything from political speech, opinions on immigration, to an artist's own artwork. If you try a VPN, you are accused of hurting kids, even though the VPN is for you, the adult, which that one I still can't wrap my head around. The UK and Australia are leading this charge. Yep, big shock. The EU is said to be soon to follow, which again, big shock. Some sites aren't even bothering to restrict this to UK, as it's simpler to just put this in place for the entire world, which kind of goes to the whole Stop Killing Games campaign, which is why they were trying to start over in the UK and the EU to have it take place in the whole world. And now we're seeing that work against freedom of speech. All of this came together in the same month. In a matter of less than 2 weeks, this has the force of coordinated state action moving against the net. Full control over the internet is the goal, and the control of thought and speech. Because if they can control the internet, they can control how you think. And you can be like, oh no, that'll never happen. I still think like the way I want to think. Yeah, maybe you will, but think about the next generation and the generation after that and after that. Just think how this is going to be completely destroying freedom of speech and open communication and thought that people used to have and used to just take for granted, by the way. This is from Spotify. It says age restricted content and checking your age. We partner with Yoti, a trusted digital identity company. First off, according to who? Trusted by who? How is there a digital identity company already? If this is something that is not widely accepted, how could they even exist? Never mind be trusted. Very strange. To help us identify if users are of eligible age to access some Spotify content and features like music and music videos that are labeled as 18 plus by rights holders. For more information on our partnership with Yoti, visit our Safety and Privacy Center. To which I replied, "This is effing insane." And Grumps says, yeah, it is. And this comes from Madam Savvy, who says, the ESRB was shot down by the FTC for child age verification, which I covered like, I don't know, 4 years ago. That was a while ago when we talked about that. And it was laughable back then. And I even reiterated it last year. Like, hey guys, remember how crazy this was when the ESRB tried to do facial identification? And people were like, oh my God, they actually tried that? That's insane. Of course it got shut down by the FTC. Yoti was the partner for that. The other day, I asserted companies were eager to license out their age verification software. Here it is in action. They want to scan kids' faces. They want to control what you do online. I have been trying to tell everyone the ESRB is an evil collection of women who do not enforce things evenly and through back doors, encourage censorship. They are trying to be a brand. This is FTC denies application for new parental consent mechanism under COPPA, which, that's not the place for the ESRB. That's not why the ESRB was formed. They need to stay in their fucking lane. We accepted that the middle ground of, okay, we will deal with the ESRB and their age process. We'll still be able to buy what we want, but at least we'll know what we're getting. And that has turned into now a massive overreach. This is from PC Gamer. U.S. government denies ESRB's AI-powered face scanning age estimation proposal, but it's probably not gone for good. This was April 2nd, not 1st, 2024. ESRB blasts reports that it's using facial recognition technology to verify ages of children. Oh, this is July 2023. Ratings body clarifies its technology, says it's not storing selfies of users. Oh, the T-App would like to have a word with them. This one from Patricia Vance, who I believe was the CEO of the ESRB or the head of it, sharing this update on our application to the Federal Trade Commission to approve the use of privacy protective facial age. This is not your fucking jurisdiction. You do not have any right to do this. No one granted you this power. Your power was to slap an age rating on a game. That was why you came into fruition. Many of us didn't like it, but we dealt with it. And now you're trying to advance your power. That's not what you're doing. That's not what your job is here. Get the fuck out of here. As a parent, I am strongly opposing this. This is not what I ever agreed to when the ESRB formed. Unfortunately, the application was denied without prejudice for refiling. We appreciate the effort by Stacy, ESRB, Yoti, and Kids Webster. How much money do you think is involved with Yoti and the ESRB in back pockets, backroom deals, greasing each other's pockets and lining them with some money? You don't think that maybe there might be some money exchanging hands between these two? You don't think maybe, and remain hopeful it will be approved in the future. And it goes into we're disappointed that the Federal Trade Commission declined it. Shout out to the FTC, by the way, for holding their ground on this. But yikes, because all they had to do was wait. And then we have Chibi Reviews, who says, YouTube will now require you to use your government ID to not be restricted on August 13th for United States citizens. Wait a second. Why United States? This is not a US thing. This is going on over in the UK and maybe the EU and Australia and all that. Why is YouTube making the United States bend the knee on this? That's very strange. You didn't read that wrong. I said USA, not the UK. The censorship is coming for everyone, and it is getting worse.
Yes, it is indeed getting worse. And the fact that now YouTube is going to try censoring my YouTube channel, all because of the UK's laws? Fuck no. Fuck no. From day one of this law being implemented, I promised, the VNO promised, our allies promised. Well, mostly the VNO and its divisions, but to fight this exact thing. Censorship is coming for everyone? Yup. Is it getting worse? Yup. Are we gonna fight it? Yup. Are we gonna give the UK the big ol' 1-2? Yup. I think it's time the UK learns a lesson that the USA should have taught them on the internet a long time ago, when the internet first came into existence. Don't censor anyone. That's the lesson that the UK should learn. You need ID? You need ID? Fuck you.
This is, by the way, again, what I've been screaming about from the mountaintops from 2+ years ago when I first started covering this stuff. And it wasn't blowing up back then because it kept getting shot down. But I would talk about it. And I'd be like, this is concerning, but hey, at least it gets shot down. But these people aren't going to stop. It's what I said back then. It's what I'm saying right now. They will never stop. You have to hold your ground and understand that they are pushing an agenda, and it's always about the money, how much money they can make. The organizations that are behind it, this Yoti company, are they publicly traded? Or is it private venture capitalists or privately funded? Where is the money coming from to create Yoti? Who is invested in that? Why are they getting funded? Are they in connection and in cahoots with the ESRB? Are they potentially in cahoots with the UK government? What are the connections behind the scenes with this company? Because it stinks. What's happening right now, it absolutely smells very bad. Like there is something definitely happening behind the scenes that is
something fishy,
secret. And they don't want it to get out, but clearly how they're pushing forward. I talked about this the other night too, with the UK automatically just shutting down the near 400,000 votes to repeal the Online Safety Act. They proactively came forward and were like, yeah, no, we're not going to shut it down, guys. You can stop signing that because we're going to move forward with this. Wait a second. I thought you were supposed to represent the people. If you're supposed to represent the people,
UK. I thought you were supposed to represent the people and not your own agenda. I thought you could just petition to the government to get what you want. But nope, not in the UK apparently. Not in the UK apparently. Because, oh wait, they're trying to focus on saving the kids. We all know how this is gonna turn out.
People, why are you trying to get ahead of an online signature petition that is growing rapidly and clearly?
And speaking of rapidly, hold on. Speaking of rapidly, the petition now has 473,095 signatures, over the threshold of 100,000. And this was made in and the deadline for this is October 22nd, 2025. That's the final numbers. As of right now. There it is. There it is, boys.
The vast majority of people do not want this thing in their lives. They want it gone, they want it repealed, they want it removed. Yet the UK are the ones saying, no, no, no. We're gonna move forward with this, and we're gonna just keep going because it's for your protection and for your benefit. And later on, you can thank us for this. And this comes to us from Chibi Reviews, and it says YouTube will require government ID or they censor you in the United States. Now, I'm not going to watch this whole thing, but I do want to just present you with the introduction here and a little bit past that, because he talks about Spotify as well.
Is rolling out AI in the United States to detect if users are actually under 18. It ignores the stated age and applies restrictions to users it suspects are teens.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Your Spotify account is getting deleted unless you do age verification.
Crazy.
Then Wikipedia is currently in a legal battle with the United Kingdom government to try and stop the platform from being censored in the UK. Or
think about how fast all of this is happening. I keep going back to the insane speed of change. Every second that is passing right now, it is like hyper speed, light speed of changes for something that has been dormant for forever. And all of a sudden it is just light speed to change everything. Why? It's not for the children, because why would you be saying no VPNs? Ain't no kids using VPNs, bro. Like, what are we talking about here?
Even completely blocked, thanks to the Online Safety Act. I want to remind everybody how this started. This started with a feminist activist group in Australia contacting payment processors like Visa and MasterCard.
Well, it started right now with Collective Show, but this has been going on for years, if not decades, if you want to go past to the ESRB stuff. This has been going on since gaming and technology started. There's always been an opposition trying to restrict and control you, because when there's control, there's power. And there are people, just like there are alcoholics, there are drug addicts, there are people that just that are.
And when there is power, there is money. There's money. The cash. Cha-ching.
Overweight, can't stop eating. There are power-hungry people in this world that are addicted to power, and they can't stop. They have to get more and more control and more power that feeds them, that drives them, that motivates them in the morning to control other people. It's a real thing. It's a psychological disorder that people have.
To get Steam and itch.io to remove adult games. What started off as just, let's ban the porn and protect the kids, has now turned into straight up the entirety of the internet getting collectively censored back to back. And you can no longer say that this is just affecting, let's say, the United Kingdom. We have YouTube going into this, and they are now testing stuff with the United States.
Why? Who is asking for this in the United States?
Who in their right mind would ask for this in the United States? Who in their right mind? And in case you haven't been here for the entire stream, there's some updates regarding the Online Safety Act that is now impacting the United States. YouTube will require government ID or they censor you in the United States. Who in their right mind? Who in their right mind requested this? Who? Nah. I'm curious now. I'm curious what Facebook posts there are. Yup. Yup. July 27th. Okay? Don't be fooled by this, because this is the same thing that's being pushed in the UK. This is the same thing that's being pushed in Australia, Canada, the UK. Let me read this for y'all. The Kids Online Safety Act is the US equivalent to the EU's Digital Services Act and the UK's Online Safety Act. If passed, it will lead to digital identity and total de-anonymization, I'm not sure if I said that right, of the internet and massive censorship. It was reintroduced to Congress May 2025. Do you not realize how far that goes back? We're in August, right? That's 1 month. And that's 1 month right there. So this was introduced 2 months ago. Okay. It is currently supported by big tech, big libotard, and retarded right-wing tads. Well, wouldn't say retarded right-wing people, but who don't seem to care that they're handing the left a huge victory. Quote, well, 3 quotes here, actually. Quote unquote. In January 2024, the Senate had a meeting with the CEOs of Meta, TikTok, Snapchat, or Snappa, or Snap Inc., Discord, and Twitter, now X, formerly Twitter, regarding child safety. This hearing led a renewed push for the bill. Quote unquote. By February 2024, the bill gained enough backers in the Senate to assure its passage, though there had yet been a companion bill introduced in the House of Representatives. Quote unquote. Again, no further actions were taken on the bill before the end of the 118th Congress, nullifying its progress. Blumenthal reintroduced the bill in the 119th Congress, 2025-2026, in May of 2025. Okay. Now, Ray Wright. Okay. They are selling it as the Online Safety Act. Are you even seeing this on the news? How are they spinning this? Free speech is over in the UK. Here's what the UK can do now under the Online Safety Act. Scan your private messages. WhatsApp, iCloud, Signal. Censor protest videos from X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube. Force ID checks and facial scans to access social media. Search your cloud files, Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive. Order surveillance without a warrant. And even silence dissent. Even Wikipedia is under legal threat. If I didn't have a VPN account before, now is the time to invest in one. P.S. They're also trying to ban VPNs. Do you see how far this goes, stream? Do you see how far this goes? And also, I just saw this right here. But we're not going to get into it. Do you see how far this goes? Do you see? And this is the petition. In case y'all haven't even read the response, this is the best way I can sum it all up for you. They decided to double down, triple down, and then now, I have no words. I have no words of what the UK is trying to do. I have no words. I'm sorry, I just have no words. I have none. And if you're a teacher working at Houston County Schools, don't worry, you're going to be impacted by this too. The whole school system is going to be impacted by this. On August 13th, this is when YouTube is going to start doing stuff like this. Okay? So, every school system in the United States, every person in the United States, every official, government official, etc. in the United States needs to be prepared now for this. Okay? This is not fake. This is real. This is fact. And if this comes to pass, you already know. If this comes to pass, we are done. This channel, the Viking Nation Organization channel, is done. My Twitch channel is done. The work I've put into this channel will be over. All because some policy that the UK passed is trying... I have no words. I have no words.
Let's put it up to a vote. I thought that's what America was all about. Who wants this? Where's this coming from? Who's giving YouTube the authority to do this?
This alone showcases that this is not just one country. This is not just one niche little area. This is affecting massive sites around the entire internet. And now even YouTube is falling to the censorship storm that has been ongoing. I want to outline just this in particular, how bad this is. I mean, I want to cover all this. There's a lot to talk about here. But this one in particular is really bad. For
this one, like, not even joking, I agree with GB. This might be the craziest one because it's actually coming to the US. This is how the dominant...
This is the most extreme one I've seen by far. Because this takes a law that the UK is trying to implement, right? And brings it to the United States. Who on earth is asking for this? Who on earth is asking for this? I have no words. And yet I'm trying to speak about this. Who on this planet, in the United States, wants this? Because this is the most extreme issue that's coming to the United States now. Okay. The fact is that this is coming to the United States when nobody wants this. Nobody. Nobody I know wants this. Nobody I've met wants this. No one wants this. No one. No one, no one, no one. And the fact of the matter is that this should be restricted to the UK. Not the entire world. Okay. Not the United States. Like, Bro.
Dominoes start falling. Because we could laugh and point at the other areas and the other countries and be like, oh, they're crazy. Glad I live in the land of the free, home of the brave, baby. That's never happening here. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second.
One reason alone. Anytime YouTube ever implements a automated system with AI or whatever, it goes horribly
Horrible.
wrong. Anyone that is not
Yep. Horribly wrong.
just a content creator, but someone that
I have not seen this video yet.
just browsers, YouTube knows this. To messed up algorithms, to videos not showing up, to videos being instantly demonetized or removed, to just improper copyright, notifications on videos or content ID, all sorts of things. When you have these automated systems, YouTube's automated systems usually just
They're
horrible.
shit. YouTube automated systems are absolute jack shit. They're terrible. And they implement things before they're ready for mass production, and then they fix it or try to deal with the fallout after they implement it. And it is a complete, absolute shit show.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
They are implemented in such a bad way that it effectively hurts thousands upon thousands of people. And the fact that YouTube is just suddenly rolling out this AI to be able to detect if users are actually under 18, this is going to lead to so many people.
Oh, quick pause. I just saw Jeremy Webb is here, the absolute legend himself. Jeremy, I'm so glad you are good and okay. It's great to see you, bro. I'll get
having their accounts just removed, and even content creators at that. And let me get theoretically having their accounts just removed.
It's so great to see you, man.
People theoretically having their accounts just removed, and even content creators at that. And let me give an explanation to this of why that's important, like why this is going to happen. So basically, this AI is going to be able to look at your account and see what you watch, what you like, what you engage with. And let's just hypothetically say you're an individual that is 20 plus, 30 plus, whatever, and you actively engage with gaming content. You engage with maybe content that is...
Again, I'm going to go back to if I was not a parent, and I'll leave this here. I'll share this with you guys. If I was not a parent and I was saying, yeah, no, kids will just figure it out, I feel like I wouldn't have a leg to stand on in that, because I'd be like, maybe I'm just kind of talking out of my ass here. I am a father of two amazing kids. My son is 11. My daughter is 9. And they are using their iPads, ingrained in technology, and they understand how it all works and functions. They also stay within the bounds of what they want to be around. They don't watch crazy shit or stupid stuff. Like, I am there. I am present. I understand what they enjoy to watch, and they love watching it. And it's harmless shit. Sometimes it's kind of crazy and off the wall, but it's nothing like insane. But even if it was, if being a parent, if I was like, you know what, I am okay with my son doing that. As a parent, that is my inherent right. I'm allowed to be like that, raising my son and daughter the way I, as a parent, and if someone else disagrees, they can raise their kids the way they want to. That's the glorious thing about having kids. You can raise them in the best way you can try to raise them. The government coming in and being like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make sure that we level the playing field, and we're going to make sure that your kids can't have access to this, that, the other thing. Oh, by the way, now you're going to have all these hurdles to jump over. And oh, by the way, we're going to need facial IDs. We're going to need actual IDs of you, a scan of you. We're going to need your firstborn. We're going to need maybe some additional information. And I'm sure we're going to need to turn this into an additional tax in the future too, because we're the government. That's what we always do. And they're going to use it against you ultimately, and taking your rights away as an American, at least speaking from my own. Absolutely insane that it's happening, not just in my lifetime, but right now.
This is insane. I mean, I have no words to describe this, but I also don't have any words for any people that are experiencing this right now on YouTube. It's insane. It's insanity. But the fact this is happening in our lifetime tells you something. If you haven't learned not to trust the government yet, you're learning it in this lifetime. I can tell you that. In 2019, when they first found COVID, and then 2020 when they start telling us all these lies, I stopped trusting our own government. I stopped trusting any world government at that point. And this is just an example why. This is just an example why you shouldn't be trusting your own government. Because they're going to take your rights away from you. They're going to take them away. They're going to say, give me your rights. Give me your rights and we'll keep you safe. Give me your rights. That's what they're going to say. That's what they're saying right now in the UK. That's what Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK, is saying right now. That's what he's saying right now at this very moment. That's what he's saying. The fact that now YouTube is bringing this to the United States and implementing it on August 13th is insane. Viking Nation members, if you're watching, Viking Nation members, we have 13 days to turn this around. Get in contact with our allies. We about to fight this for real. But this is insane. And I'm gonna fight this the best way I can, y'all. I'm gonna fight this censorship of my channel, of my Twitch channel, of my Facebook, Instagram, TikTok posts, X posts, Instagram posts, everything under the sun. I'm gonna completely censor this censorship. I said that wrong. I'm gonna completely fight this censorship because this shouldn't even be happening in the first place. If you want to support the VNO Panda Esports and all of its divisions in the fight against the censorship that is coming from the UK to the United States via YouTube, join the VNO Discord, join the Panda Esport Discord, and even make posts about this. The more we get this out, the more we get this out, the more that they can't hide it anymore. The more the UK can't hide. The more the UK, USA, Australia, and Canada can't hide it anymore.
It's happening as we speak at light speed. Changes are happening where people are like, whoa, what the fuck? No, don't do that. Nobody's agreeing to this. Why are you doing this? Who's approving this? What happened to the democracy? What happened to voting for shit? What happened to who's deciding all this? What the hell, man? This is crazy. This is crazy. And it seems to, like I said, it seems to keep getting worse as the days go by. So yeah, you bet your ass I'm going to keep covering this because I already know it's going to
keep covering this as well.
Get worse than this. This is insane already. Holy shit. But yeah, this reminds me of Demolition Man, where everything bad was banned and everything was be well bullshit. What's up, C3? How's it going? It is war. It is war. Not a physical, violent war. It is a war of mental war, technological mental war. and it's about a war for power. And
Globalists coming for 1A and 4A. Orwell was right. Yeah, he
control.
was.
It's crazy. The info war. Yeah, exactly. Where's my tinfoil hat? Man, I was on a good one there. I need a sip of wine. Holy shit.
I did pro. 5 hours ago.
Okay, so this is undoubtedly one of the most serious videos I've ever made on this channel, and it's for a very good reason. Half of the people watching this video are going to be affected by this new upcoming change to YouTube, which will be implementing an AI age verification system to ensure the safety of children on the website. So YouTube has this new tool they're going to use, and what it's going to do is it's going to watch what you do. It's going to keep note of all the videos you watch, the videos you like, the videos you comment on, all of that stuff, your search history, your watch history. It's going to look at all of that stuff, and then it's going to decide whether you are under or above the age of 18. Now, why is it doing that? Well, YouTube wants to protect children on the website. They want to make sure that kids are not watching content that they shouldn't be watching or stuff that's inappropriate. And that is a good cause, you know, people want to make sure that kids are safe online. There's nothing wrong with that. But what the actual issue with this is that it's being, first of all, controlled by an AI, and second of all, it's a breach of privacy. Because if this AI detects that you are under the age of 18, you'll be forced to show government identification to YouTube to prove that you are indeed over the age of 18. If that isn't a big issue for anyone watching this video, I would suggest that you start to make it an issue for you, because it's something serious. YouTube does not need your government identification. It does not need your personal information, yet they are going to be pushing for that, and they have the full support of the government in doing so. Now, in this case in particular, I'm talking about the US, but we are seeing very similar actions being taken in other countries around the world, such as the United Kingdom and Australia. We'll jump into those in a little bit, but I do want to talk about the US a little bit more because it is a majority of our audience. And also, it's just really crazy that it's happening in the United States of all countries. So first of all, why is YouTube implementing this AI age verification system? Well, once again, they want to make sure that kids are safe online. But my question now is that why is this the responsibility of YouTube? It didn't used to be that way. You know, parents would take care of their own kids and they would regulate and monitor what their kids are watching on YouTube, and the actual company itself, YouTube, would have no responsibility in making sure that what these people are consuming is safe. So what happened to that? Why are we now just, you know, giving up on the parents and forcing YouTube to do this? Well, obviously there are some hidden intentions behind this, if that wasn't clear already. Yeah, no, this is not just about saving kids. In fact, it's nothing to do with that. The government doesn't care about kids. The government doesn't care about anybody. I don't know if that's inherent right now. I mean, it was just with everything that's happened in the last 8 months. I don't know how that isn't clear already, but it's getting worse. And we're getting to the point where I feel like this is very, very easily opening the door to mass surveillance. And you might call that a conspiracy theory, but I 100% believe it. And I think that you should probably do some research into it and maybe believe it as well, because this is, once again, just the first step. First of all, they're going to get your information from you, and they're also going to monitor what you're doing on YouTube. They're going to monitor what you're watching, who you're watching, what information you're consuming, and YouTube will have an entire database full of all that information. I am positive that the government will also get their hands on that information. Big companies like Google, who owns YouTube, and subsequently Alphabet, who owns Google, they're all in the government. These big corporations aren't going to say no to the government. And when the US government comes to YouTube and is like, hey, we want to monitor these civilians because we're suspicious of them, YouTube is going to hand that information right over. They're going to hand over your personal information, what you're watching, what you're doing on YouTube, and they're going to give it to the US government. And you have zero say in that. It's completely out of everyone's control. I mean, us, the content creators, we can make videos like this and address it and inform you guys, but unless there's like a big movement, I don't think anything's going to happen, and I don't think anything is going to stop this from happening. So once again, YouTube is implementing an AI age verification system that will monitor everything you do on the website and determine if you were under or over the age of 18. And if it thinks that you're under the age of 18, guess what? Your account is going to be restricted and you won't be able to view certain kinds of content, like possibly my content, which revolves around wars and geopolitical scenarios, real world events and wars like the Ukraine war, all that kind of stuff. is likely going to be flagged by the AI system that's going to be implemented as stuff that is unsuitable for children. So yes, I'm making this video not only to inform you guys about this upcoming change, but to also show you that this is having a real world effect and it will likely affect this channel as well, because once again, my content is centered around war and topics that probably aren't going to be deemed as suitable for children, even if it is fictional. And another thing, what's stopping this AI from just being wrong? Like, say you're 20 years old or something and you watch content that the AI thinks is for children. Well, guess what? You gotta show YouTube your ID now and send it to them. Yeah, just take a quick little picture of your government ID and send it to the multi-billion-dollar company of YouTube. I'm sure that's safe. I'm sure everyone would be okay with that, right? We're all okay with that, right? No, the answer should be no. You should not be okay with that. That is not right. YouTube is and always has been a free public website. All you have to do is type in YouTube and you're there. You can watch any video you want. But now there's a chance that you're gonna have to show your identification to use YouTube. Is that not the stupidest shit that you've ever heard? And this is just the United States that I'm talking.
That is the most stupidest shit I have ever fucking heard in my life. Thank you for making that obvious.
Talking about right now, but there are very similar bans and restrictions being implemented in other countries like the United Kingdom and Australia, who those two countries have gone even further than the US and have done even more restrictions that are just wrong. Apparently now you're gonna have to show your ID on Spotify to access the full range of content that you can listen to on Spotify. Why does Spotify need your ID? I mean, it's so simple. It just comes down to the fact that parents aren't taking care of their kids and everyone is being punished for it. I'm 19 years old, I'm an adult, I don't wanna show my ID to Spotify or Discord or YouTube. I don't need to, I'm 19. But if these AI algorithms just so think that I might be under the age of 18, I have to give them my government identification. Not only that, they've already been collecting all of our data, and I'm so sure that the government is going to get their hands on that data. This is just the first step, like I said, towards mass surveillance, and I truly believe that is the path that we're going down right now in the year of 2025. It's going to get a lot worse than this. This is just the start. And back to the YouTube thing real quick, I just, once again, I don't understand. What is the purpose of YouTube Kids if we're going to be doing this age verification thing on the platform? If I remember correctly, YouTube Kids was created as an alternative to YouTube, which is safe, has appropriate content for children, and is just, you know, the go-to option for kids that are under the age of 13. Well, now we're jumping it up to 18. If you're under the age of 18, then you need to be restricted. You're not allowed to watch something that is deemed inappropriate if you're 17 years old. I don't know about you guys, but I do feel like most 16 and 17 year olds are capable of self-thought in the fact that they can choose what they want to watch. Granted, they're not legal adults, but it does still fall back to the parents in that case, in which case YouTube is taking over the role of parent. They're going to dictate what you can watch and what you can't watch because they want to make sure that kids are safe online. That's just what they're saying. Basically, what they've done here is take a grenade, put it in a little gift box, and put a nice little bow on it, and handed it to you. Guess what? Open the gift box. Oh, it looks so nice on the outside, but when you get to the inside, it's not so good, is it? I'm not speaking against children's safety on the internet. I'm speaking against this infringement on our rights and this infringement on our privacy. This is something very serious, and it's, once again, something that I want all of you to do your own research into and become aware of exactly what is happening around us. Not only in this case with, you know, these companies trying to implement these age verification things, but also just pay more attention to what your government is doing. There's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes right now that are not good for the country and not good for the people, yet nobody knows about them because they're always constantly being hidden by these news stories or stuff that pops up. Like I saw on Twitter like a couple days ago that there is an alien spacecraft coming towards Earth and it's probably hostile. No one's gonna believe that. Come on now. Things like that are very obvious cover-ups for stuff that's happening in the government elsewhere, and a lot of people don't know that. They just take everything at face value. So please critically think, do research, and just stay informed. Like I said earlier, I want to talk about what's also happening in the UK and Australia. So Australia's had a social media ban for all children under the age of 16, and originally that wasn't going to include YouTube, but guess what? They've changed their mind, and now YouTube is going to be banned for all children under the age of 16. And what these bans do is that they restrict people from having accounts on these websites. So you can't have a YouTube account, can't have a Facebook account, an Instagram account, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter, whatever it is. And if these companies don't comply with the Australian government, guess what? They're getting smacked with a $50 million fine. That is a very hefty fine, and even if these companies are multi-billion-dollar companies, $50 million is a fine that these companies aren't going to want to pay. And plus, they get more data out of it, so why not? These companies love to sell your data. I mean, it's so obvious in terms and service and all that kind of stuff. Nobody reads that stuff, but you know what's actually happening in there is that they're saying what they're doing in the fine print. Yeah, we might collect your data, we might also sell it, but you didn't read that because the terms and conditions page is like 30 pages long. But now that we're restricting people even more and even further monitoring what people are doing on these social media sites and exactly what kind of content they are consuming, this data breach is going to get even larger. Even more personalized data will be released, and the government can of course get their hands on that, or anybody can get their hands on that, because these companies are without a doubt going to be selling this information. I just have no doubt in that. You're free to disagree with me on that part of the companies selling information. I just think that it's pretty obvious that's what's going to be happening. Now, as for the UK, what they have going on is the Online Safety Act, which went into effect recently. And this, once again, is aimed at protecting children from the inappropriate internet, like pornography and stuff like that. Once again, this should be the job of the parents, not the government, but here we are. So just reading this article here by The Guardian, algorithms that recommend content to users must filter out harmful material. That already kind of happens, but on a very small scale. All sites and apps must have procedures for taking down dangerous content quickly, and which those procedures I'm sure are going to be ran by AI, because everything is AI now. And as we know with AI is that it's not always correct. It gets shit wrong half the time. I mean, come on now. So say you post something on YouTube or Instagram and the algorithm's like, oh, nope, you can't post that because it's not suitable for kids. Your content's been flagged, it's been taken down, even though the AI just got it wrong. Looking down a little bit more, it says here that Twitter has said that if it's unable to determine whether a user is 18 or over, they will be defaulted into sensitive content settings and will not be able to view adult material. But it is also introducing age estimation technology and ID checks to verify if users are under 18. Hey, you gotta show your ID to Twitter now. Who wants to do that? Not me. Meta, you know, the company that runs Instagram and Facebook, they're already doing the same thing. And I've even seen some scenarios where people are proposing to do Face ID scans to ensure that people look like they're over the age of 18. I mean, what is there to even say about that? These companies, they want to scan your face to make sure that you're over the age of 18. They want to see your identification. They want to, you know, see your driver's license number and all the information about you, like how tall you are, what color your eyes are, all that stuff, which is on most United States driver's license. They want to see all that kind of stuff. They don't need to see all that kind of stuff, but guess what? They're going to be able to see it now because of this new thing that all these countries are implementing, this huge infringement on people's privacy and rights. And once again, in my opinion, the first step towards mass surveillance. And the most ridiculous thing, like I've just said, is the Face ID thing. You have to, first of all, you have to show them your ID to make sure that it's your ID, and then you got to show them your face so they can match the face to the ID. But guess what? Now they have a face scan of you. Who knows what they can do with that? I don't know if most people know this, but the technology that the public has is not the same as the technology that things like companies and the government have. So who knows what they can do with face scans? I mean, it's just the most concerning thing ever, in my opinion. So once again, I encourage all of you to do research into this. Figure out if you yourself are going to be affected. I can already tell you that if you're in the UK or Australia, you will be affected. And if you're in the United States, guess what? You probably will be affected as well, because YouTube is, of course, a US based company and they seem pretty serious about this new thing they're rolling out. So prepare for that. I'm preparing for some of our audience members to not be able to watch my videos anymore because the AI just thinks that, you know, oh, war, so you can't watch that anymore. That's bad. War is bad. Yeah, obviously, but what I do is fictional wars. I don't cover actual wars. I don't show footage of war. There's nothing bad about the content that I do because it's all hypothetical. But the AI, are they going to know that? I don't think so. AI isn't very smart, in my opinion. AI doesn't have consciousness. They don't have self-thought. That's not a thing that AI can do, at least I hope not. So there's no critical thinking in the terms of like, oh, is this content actually about war, or is it like fictional war or stuff like that? It's just crazy, and I really hope that more content creators start to speak up about this. Some of the bigger content creators, I really hope they start to speak up about this, because a lot of people don't know about this, especially in the US, where nobody knows what's happening and nobody cares what's happening, because everyone just likes to pretend that everything's fine when it really isn't fine. The system in the US is broken, the government's corrupt, and if you guys were paying attention a few months ago, you'll know that the government signed a big contract with the surveillance company known as Palantir, and that's exactly why I feel like we are heading down that mass surveillance path, where companies and the government just have your information on file. They have a scan of your face, your identification, they know your weight, your height, eye color, and they know what kind of content you like to watch on YouTube. Hey, this guy likes to watch anti-United States government stuff. Maybe we should put him on a list and have the FBI investigate him. That kind of stuff. This is opening the door to that exact kind of stuff. So that's just what I wanted to talk about today. I don't intend to cause any kind of panic with this video. I just want to translate the seriousness of this situation to you, the viewer, who is going to be affected by this new change coming to YouTube. In the United States, it's already being banned in Australia, and the UK is of course also doing very similar things with their age restrictions in the name of protecting children, which is, once again, that's a good cause, but not the actual intent of all of this stuff. So yeah, that's all that I want to talk about. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in a later video.
So yeah. That sucks. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, that sucks. Imagine if this channel gets censored. And yeah, that's pretty much what's happening in the online world. But anywho, let's go ahead and switch over to Roblox, boys. Hello? 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 Twitch, you stupid idiots. Quit restarting my streams. Motherfuckers. Pieces of fucking shit. But anyway, come on, why did it? What the fuck? Finally! Damn. Hey. Roblox we go. Ooh. Roblox Innovation Awards, eh? Really, I don't give a fuck. Since I don't... Really. vote in the Innovation Awards.
Okay, you need to join Sheriff, and we're fighting against, like, criminals right now.
Okay.
There's too many criminals.
Can you shut up?
You know what?
I'm gonna put on some music on my phone. I'm gonna play some music on my phone anyway. So. spell on the damn screen. Okay, that's a bit better. see this now.
What?
Is this what you were talking about?
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be some sort of bank or something?
It could either be a gun store or it could be multiple items. Also, I hope you know that I'm close to Colonel. And just as I say that, there's a bank rob. And... Come on.
I don't know how far away I am. Hold on. Let me get my calculator out in my phone to see how much more XP I need. So it's 13.5k. I need 1,551. To get to Colonel. Wait, what vehicle does Colonel get? Let me see. So Colonel gets the Chevron Corbetta RZR. And that's all you get. It goes 163 miles per hour. Which I'm definitely going to be using that one.
Plus, you get the drum.
Yeah. I'm definitely using the drone and that vehicle a lot.
Then the highest rank you can get is,
Chief Deputy.
Yeah.
Or Commander, whatever.
For the police, it's Commander. For, Sheriff, it's gonna be Chief
Deputy. Chief Deputy gets the mobile command center. Mobile command. Whatever.
There's like 3 SWAT vehicles and a bus over here at PD. Going after this one criminal thing.
I'm right here moving.
That's you?
Yep.
Alright, I'm in this Chevron type shit. We're just gonna go ahead and follow these guys. Let's cruise lights. Come on.
Go ahead.
I have full lights on the inside. Alright, they're hitting the spawn. Looks like they have an incoming bag. Someone turned fire and... Before you joined, the city was in chaos. Shots fired, shots fired. Is this becoming a battle?
Nah.
destroy their car. Nah, bozo. Oh, nah! Nah!
Boom, buddy. Take that massive L.
Take the massive L, bitch. Take the massive L.
Bro.
There's attack on PD.
Attack on PD?
PD under siege.
This is about to be legendary, boys.
But that one's good XP. Look at that good XP. Oh, hello. This red car right here, it's wanted. It's wanted. It has a bolo.
You bet.
4 people get in. Oh no! Okay, there's like a half a ton of PD here in Sheriff. Do I follow this command center or?
You can if you want.
Keep an eye on their location though. It seems like. Okay, I may have lost. They may have turned back to PD. Yeah. Hey, there's attack from the front side.
Front side of what?
PD. There are yellow car, yellow car, yellow car. LC post office.
And there's an attack coming from the garage too. I need gas. I need gas, so I'm going unavailable.
Are you privately? Can remake it first.
Well, this one's a bit faster than yours. All reliable.
Alright, well, you may want to change your mind about that. Hang on, I got someone to arrest here.
Who the fuck is coming up in that red car?
Yo, 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 yo! The red car is attacking. The red car is attacking.
I mean, the red car at the gas station I'm at, dimwit. Bro! I just got killed! At a fucking gas station! Bro!
These cops need to move. Trying to go to the sheriff's station. Cause I just got ranked up. Stupid bitch. Fucking bitch!
Can you shut up, brother? Like, damn, you're annoying. Play at this gas station.
Where did that back on?
Shut up. Or will you ever shut up? Oh boy. I can tell what this one is.
Staring on the floor.
Bitch.
Okay, we have an attack on... Okay, using drone. I gotta use drone at this point.
Is there two vans over there? Because Jaden was saying that y'all got another van over there.
Yeah, we got one van. He's heating up. Two vans now. Alright, we have two vans now. I'll ride in that one. We got this one now. We got this one. Little squad truck versus
Bruh.
Get this.
Can we get these guys off our back, damn it. I'm getting a bit bored. Honestly. I might go to a different server. That's your server. Yeah. dropping you off here and going to a different server. This one's going to be a tier 3 server. Tier 3 server, so they actually know what they're doing. Sheriffs are running low. Okay, fill ammo.